This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. Anthology series such as The Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits, Night Gallery have had a huge effect on movies. Everything from Get Out, which is essentially an extended Twilight Zone episode, to A Quiet Place, and many others have all been influenced by some anthology series. And most recently I caught Monsterland on iTunes. It was on sale for 99 cents, and I figured, why not? Let's give it a try. Monsterland is an anthology series filmed in 2016, and it revolves around various short stories. And I understand, as a filmmaker, you don't start out as a Scorsese, as a Spielberg, as a Spike Lee. You don't start that way. You have to build to that. So the filmmaking for Monsterland is in too many instances really amateurish. And again, that's not a criticism of amateur filmmaking. You have to, that's what growth is about. And I'm not criticizing that Monsterland feels very amateurish in certain stories, particularly Curiosity Kills, but not exclusively. It's that it's so uneven. I don't want to use the word bad because bad is meaningless without context. So Monsterland is not a bad movie. You shouldn't watch it, but it's not bad. It's just very amateurish in many ways. I mentioned Curiosity Kills earlier. Extremely amateurish episode. It feels like, as opposed to filmmakers getting together, various directors to film projects, it feels almost as if these were pre-existing projects. They were filmed for whatever reason, and the filmmaker said, let's get, I heard of this film, let's get that film. I heard of that film, let's get that film. As opposed to, okay, let's make an anthology series. You direct this, you direct that. So there's no thematic thread running through them all. It's just random stories. Not a criticism in and of itself, but when it's coupled with mediocre writing, mediocre direction, it becomes kind of a theme. And that theme is you get a movie that's just not very well done. And that's not to say that all of them are. For instance, there's House Call is pretty decent. Not very surprising, but decent. Hag is pretty decent. Again, not very surprising, but decent. So it's not bad, it's not terrible by any stretch. It's just not very watchable either. The story that wraps around, which is essentially a guy who is during an apocalypse of some sort, runs to the movie theater, is literally stolen, or homage, however you want to put it, from John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. As I said, it's not terrible, it's not bad, it's just not ready. Curiosity Kills should have been reshot entirely, or at least had someone shooting it who has a better grasp of what they're doing. It's not ready for prime time. It's an interesting concept, but it's just not well written and it's not well shot. House Call is, as I said, it's decent, but it's predictable. It looks good, but you knew where it was going from the minute it starts. The gray matter is not bad, but it's kind of pointless. It's not saying anything. It's well shot. It's not even badly written, but it's just okay. There's no real point to it. Hellyfish is just, it's not very well shot. There's some interesting CGI in it, but to what aim? It's just not well used, and that's a pity. So if you like this type of thing, check it out. It's on iTunes. As I said, it's 99 cents. Not worth any more than that, to be sure, but it's a pity. Not very good for the reasons I stated. If that's your thing, check it out. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. Peace.